Really?
It's the commercial for the new Windows phone. It really made us laugh. We all know somebody who's so distracted that we can't get their attention no matter what we do.
The thing is, I watch that commercial, I'm like, that's so going to be me someday. Like crashing into someone. Hey, okay, the distraction may be technology, it could be toddlers, maybe just plain tiredness, but what do you do when the person you're trying to talk to just plain isn't listening? We wanted to bring in Studio 5's relationship coach, Matt Townsend, to find out. So how big of a problem is this really? Yeah.
There's the sign right there.
I expected that.
What was that?
Be in the moment.
Oh, sorry about that.
Be in the moment.
Huge problem. It's this big. It's so big you need a widescreen television. It's big. Think about it. How many times have you been sitting there talking? This happens to me, and I don't understand it. We'll be having pillow talk, and I'll be telling her, my wife, Marty, beautiful wife, Marty, all of my most personal fears,
Then she starts snoring halfway through it?
Yeah. And then she's snoring. And I'm like, Bueller, we'll teach you that trick. It's a huge problem, so I've got 4 rules.
Can I ask first?
Because you can't freak out on them. You can't yell at them, can you?
Oh, yeah, you can.
Okay.
Doesn't do any good. Is this more of a problem? Husbands trying to get their wives' attention, wives getting their husbands' attention, parents trying to get children's attention? What does this deal with most?
Yes, all of the above. It's everyone. Now, I think we do all listen differently. I think men are more easily distracted statistically. We get more easily. Yeah, hey, there's a shiny object. So but I think it's for everyone. So all of the rules we're going to go over are for everybody. This is for you and Grandma. If Grandma doesn't listen to you, this is how you get Grandma re-engaged.
Grandmas always listen.
I know they do.
They're good about that.
That's it. Well, they can't hear, so they got to focus.
Parents to teenagers, stop it. If you're trying to get your teenager to listen to you a little bit more, these tips will apply to that.
This is exactly how I do it. Now, when they're ignoring you, the first rule, you don't freak out. But you have to take the high road, I call it. The high road is where you choose in your head to interpret this in the high positive way instead of the low negative way.
What's an example of that?
I'm talking to my wife, she's snoring, and I look at it and I'm like, oh my heck, are you kidding? All she wants to do is talk. And I finally talk, and that rude, insensitive woman goes to sleep on me.
What's the high road?
High road is, she's probably tired.
She's exhausted. She's been working all day long.
The lights are out. She's exhausted. And you know what? We just picked a bad time. Whatever you interpret on the high road or the low road, whichever road you take is going to determine where this conversation goes. So you've got to know where you want it to go before we even get into talking about it.
So it's changing your thoughts a little bit. It's changing how you view the situation.
You just got to assume that they're not evil. They're just busy. Okay. Or they're distracted. Rule number 2, you have to redirect their attention. Okay?
If they're asleep, there's no hope for that.
If they're asleep, you wake them up. What I do is I go, and I clear my throat, and she wakes up. Or I'm like, where are the kids? And she sits right up. It's a great trick. Try it at home. So when you redirect your attention, though, that's how pickpockets steal from you. That's how magicians work. So when when your partner's looking at the computer and you're talking to them and you don't have their attention, you've got to figure out a way to redirect their attention. How would you guys do it? Let's say you're in the kitchen making dinner, or cowboy caviar, like we're going to make today, and you're making this great food, and he's starting to he's zoning out.
Well, don't drop the pan.
You could drop the pan.
Loud
that would get their attention.
Sorry, honey.
I would think so. Even like a Bueller, as you were doing earlier.
You're going to snap?
Yeah. I would. You could snap. You could throw an apple.
I don't approve that.
Yeah. You got to be careful.
What?
Yeah. Don't do the snap.
I might say, honey, I'm talking to you here.
Yeah.
Can I snap my
That's one way to do it. One way is just go silent.
Just be quiet.
Silent. Now, you don't do the cold silence where you're like, I hate you, I'm never talking to you again. You don't do that silence. You do the warm silence. You just go quiet. And they'll notice, oh, what were you saying? And you're like, never mind. Because if you love me, you wouldn't do that. No, you just say something like, you know what, I just noticed you were busy reading and I was interrupting, so I was just going to wait until you're ready.
Just something to change the distraction.
We don't need to guilt them, but you got to somehow redirect it. Another one is get close, touch them. Another one is just go make fun and look in their face, something like that. I would also make jokes. Jokes always work really well.
Can't imagine.
It's weird. I hate it. Third one, only eye contact counts. Nothing counts as a conversation unless it was eye to eye.
Oh.
Okay? Ever.
So the big topics can't be done when somebody's
got to get eye contact.
Multitasking.
So if you decided you're gonna leave your partner, wouldn't you do it eye to eye? I'm out of here. I'm leaving you. You don't wait till he's on the computer and you're like, okay, honey, I'm taking the kids. Okay, have fun.
Yeah.
And I'm never coming back. You're going to want eye contact for anything. So in my family, it doesn't, if we have 5 boys, boys usually don't maintain eye contact very much.
Studies show that, right? We talked about that before.
Yeah, we have about a 3-second gaze and then we move on. Women have about an 11-second.
Yeah.
It's awkward, long. And so eye contact is the only thing that matters. If you don't have it, it didn't count as a conversation. So if you really want to make sure we've heard it, then you get my eye contact.
Okay.
Okay?
See, he clapped. He clapped.
Yeah,
How's that any different from
snapping
a
is
snap?
so demeaning. Did you not know that? And the last one is simplest. Change. So once we've had a conversation and we realize that you get distracted on the computer, let's talk about it. Honey, what do you want me to do when you're on the computer and we're talking, or when one of us is distracted? And you could make a rule. That's our Bueller rule. Bueller. So Bueller's the rule we agree on, that if we're not getting the attention we want, we can say Bueller. And we both know that that means, okay,
That's
sorry, where were we? If you don't learn now, here's how I see this. Every communication breakdown today is a chance to prevent all future breakdowns. Only if we learn. If we don't take our breakdown today and learn from it, we're not changing our future. So every time we have a communication breakdown, we talk through it, we work through it, and we come up with a rule or a learning.
And this is a little thing. I mean, not listening.
It's a little
thing.
thing.
It kind of is a stereotypical thing the wife complains about, or the parent or the teenager complains about, but it can make a big difference.
You know what? I saw a coach that had the biggest difference because what would he say? He had some phrase he would say, and he would say it, and the minute he said it, all the kids learned to say the other half of the phrase. Heads in or something, and he had some, so whenever he said it, and that was, so instead of saying, listen, he'd just say the phrase, and then everybody would look at him and they'd say the other half of the phrase. And he trained him. You can train us, all of us, to listen more.
You're good at training. You got a couple date nights coming up.
Yes.
It's a double duty date night here.
This is a huge weekend. Don't miss it. On the 12th, Friday, we're doing our regular date night called the 7 Basic Needs. We laugh, we cry, that's the funny one. Then we're doing one on the 13th where we're going to get into the 5 thinking errors that hurt a marriage. All the things that we think that end up taking us down the wrong road and how to change those thoughts. That's on the 13th. Give us a call, 747-2121. You do not want to miss these.
Special double feature. We're keeping Matt around because Matt is going to do something.
I can't wait for this.
Something you've never done this before in our studio, right? In fact,
no.
Matt's never done it in his own kitchen, let alone ours. He's going to take part in this celebration of the small things.
So
Studio
good.
5 contributors are all.
Don't be wasting.
We're all sharing their favorite appetizers.
Look at that, look at that.
What do we got? What are they? What
It's we're making cowboy caviar.
Ooh. All right, the tiny bites. So we'll rock
Here, smell my hands, Darren. Smell them. I've been cutting onions all day.
We're going to come back with Matt's favorite holiday hors d'oeuvre right after this.
Oh, they smell fresh, actually.
Stop.